It is purely a question of, is this illegal? Is what happened here illegal? But the thing happened. The thing happened as Nikandros described it.
And you still can't say the N-word. He's got this other larp about not buying anything.
Who wants creepypasta videos anymore? Why does Mutahar... Here's the real question. Why does Mutahar even want to be spending his time doing creepypasta videos and creepypasta ROM hacks or whatever? Playing, like, you know, Lavender Town horror survival ROM hack. You know. Why do you even want to be spending your time doing that in your fucking 30s in 2025?
I was watching myself impregnate Sonic on video.
Okay, guys, so, as you should know by now, as we all should know by now, Mutahar has been under fire for quite a lot of things. A lot more than I think is really in the broad public discussion, though hopefully the rest of it will enter. But the main thing, with the next video, I mean, sorry, I was reading something, with the next video, but the main thing that Mutahar's been under fire for, recently, is this lie about being an engineer. Obviously, there's the whole stuff with the post-Nux Clarity incident, the whole, uploading a video on it, then deleting it, the lying to Chud, all that's just insane shit that happened. I think Nikandros is going over in his next video, he's going to have a whole thing about it. But yeah, the main one recently is lying about being an engineer. Using many different forms of the word engineer, software engineer, cybersecurity engineer, video engineer. When he never really was any of those things. He failed out of college for engineering, and then he went to a vocational film college to get a diploma from there. And then he claimed he did a bunch of video editing work that he also probably didn't do. And he claims to be a day trader as well, actually. I'm just thinking through the things he did. He claims to be a day trader as well, which is obvious bullshit. He was talking about being clocked out by 12, clocked out at noon from his day trading. Just absurd. So yeah, there were a lot of lies, to be honest. But the main one was this engineer one. And there was a question in Nikandros' video as to whether it was illegal in Ontario for Mutahar to call himself an engineer in the way that he did. Now, most of the discussion around this related to whether it's about just using the term engineer or whether it's about practicing as an engineer. Many people were claiming it wasn't illegal because Mutahar was not practicing as an engineer. However, we found out that's not the case because a politician was actually fined or pressured with the threat of a fine into making an apology and retracting the claim of being an engineer. But in this instance, there's a different reason that it's not illegal, which I'm just going to go into here. I don't know if I should spoil it immediately. I think we'll just get into it.
Welcome, I'm Nikandros. If you've seen my video, Mutahar's been a fake engineer for 10 years, you probably walked away with the conclusion that he's been claiming to be all different kinds of engineer based on computer work he did in high school. All of that is true. He has presented himself as an engineer on his channel dozens of times, but on his live streams and podcasts, which not all of his main audience will see, he has admitted to being a dropout, that he hasn't been an engineer in years or eons, but he was still presenting himself as an engineer in the present tense, giving the false impression that he is currently an engineer. He's since apologized and stated he's not an engineer, and he didn't even state in his defense that one of his job titles contained the word engineer at one point, so it is true that he's been a fake engineer for 10 years. However, I made a mistake in my coverage. I claimed that Mutahar calling himself an engineer was illegal, or that it could be illegal. Now, I do want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer or a Canadian. I'm just a guy who looks stuff up online, and based on what I've read, it's actually illegal to call yourself an engineer if you are not a licensed engineer. In a later part...
Yeah, I feel like, here's the thing, is this is enough couching for me, but I don't know if it's enough couching for everyone, you know? I don't even mean that as in people have like a standard that you need to couch it more, but I feel like a lot of people are going to watch that video and they're going to feel like that's a claim that really matters, you know? That they feel like the idea that it's illegal is integral, it's important to the video. The legality of whether Mutahar can call himself an engineer or not isn't actually very important to the video or the message of the video at all. So I think maybe even couching it even further, saying like, you know, hey, look, this is sort of a side note. I don't think this really matters that much. I don't really care about the law that much, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. But there's this. This might be a thing. You know, there's some level of couching where you just disconnect it from the through line of the video to where it won't have too much damage on your credibility or on the credibility of the video or the perception of the video if it turns out to be wrong. I think Nikandros, as much as for me, this is plenty of couching saying, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know what I'm talking about, but hey, look, this is a thing, it might be the case, I don't know. And showing you're working. That's enough for me. But I think subconsciously, viewers, audiences en masse, take it in as more important than it is. So...
part of the video, I made the same claim without actually couching it. At least Pirate Software's lies didn't break the law. But then I couched it again. Once again, I am not a lawyer. It might...
yeah, also the inconsistent wording, inconsistent level of couching is going to make viewers feel like it's more sure.
Not be illegal for Mutahar to lie about being an engineer. There were many theories in the comment sections and discussions around this video, for and against the idea that him calling himself an engineer or a computer engineer was legal or illegal. Some claimed it was not illegal.
Yo, thank you for the membership, huge appreciate it, thank you.
Illegal because Mutahar never sold engineering services, and others claimed it was illegal because using professional engineering titles such as computer engineer was a title violation. Harmful Opinions got sick of this uncertainty, and he followed the guidelines of Professional Engineers Ontario, which instructs people to report anyone claiming to be an engineer if their name doesn't appear in their public database. He has received back a response from the PEO and then sent the email to me. It reads as follows. Thank you for your email. We have completed our investigation regarding Mr. Ranas's use of the title engineer. It is our opinion that the evidence provided to us does not constitute a violation of Ontario law. The text of the relevant provision of...
yeah, it's not the case that, like, any form of reporting is bad at all. I think, yeah, it's hard to draw, like, super broad rules on. But there's, like, certainly certain types of authorities and certain types of reports, as long as you're doing them in good faith, that, like, I don't have any issue with people making. Stuff like this, where it's to the like, engineering regulator, and you're like, hey, here's my evidence that this person's lying, can you look into this, please? And that's what the hotline is for. I really don't see a problem with this kind of reporting. I really struggle to. The thing with, like, swatting is that obviously it creates an imminent risk to your life, which is obviously really, really, really bad. It's about as bad as it gets. Then there's stuff like the CPS call to Ethan, which is on sort of like at least shaky, if not malicious grounds. So that's bad. And then it is a kind of worrying authority to have come to you. And the consequences for it are much more severe than a engineering authority, for instance, right? So you can have your kids taken away as opposed to just given a fine. So then you could probably say that one's probably not okay, assuming that it wasn't done in good faith, which I think there's not really much reason to think it was done in good faith, to be honest. So it's really... I think, like, you should probably just take it into your hands anyway, a lot of the time. That's the thing as well, especially when it's about stuff that's happening behind closed doors, like how people treat their kids and stuff like that. Like, you've got no fucking idea unless you're literally seeing them beat them on camera. It's kind of hard for you to make a fucking determination about whether it's worth calling CPS on. There's a whole bunch of things that go into it. But yeah, this type of reporting specifically, I don't think I have an issue with. Also didn't have an issue with Mr. Girl reporting Dr. K to the ethics board and stuff like that, so I think this sort of stuff is kind of fine.
Our statute reads, every person who is not a holder of a license or a temporary license and who uses the title engineer or an abbreviation of that title in a manner that will lead to the belief that the person may engage in the practice of professional engineering is guilty of an offense. As such, the mere use of the title does not create an offense. An important consideration is whether or not the use of the title can clearly be attached to the province of...
Well, yeah, but Daddy 05 was literally abusing his kids on camera, right? That is, like, the case I'm talking about.
Ontario. Although Mr. Ranas is a resident of Ontario, none of his videos directly attach his use of the title to the province. If we were to interpret the statute otherwise, any person who called themselves an engineer on YouTube could be liable to prosecution under Ontario law, and that appears to be an absurd result. There is also American law, Jarlstrom v. Oregon State Board of Examiners for Engineering and Land Surveying, which held that applying title protection statutes solely to challenge protected speech is a violation of the First Amendment and would likely be a violation of S2 of the Charter. Finally, we do not believe there is any public interest in pursuing this matter. There does not appear to have been any intention on Mr. Anas's part to mislead anyone about his Ontario license status, and he has already apologized for the confusion. As such, we have closed our investigation in this matter. So the key element that would have made Mutahar's use of the term illegal would have been to attach his engineering status to the province of Ontario. So, saying, "I'm a fucking computer engineer, I don't care," is not illegal. If he said, "I'm a fucking computer engineer in Ontario, I don't care," supposedly that would have been illegal. So, I obviously made a mistake by saying what Mutahar did could have been or was illegal, and I apologize to Mutahar, and I also apologize to you, the audience, for misleading you about the facts. No, you didn't merely incidentally feel misled or feel deceived, you were deceived, and you were misled by me and my misleading and deceptive words. I did make disclaimers and couch the claim in uncertainty, but I was still wrong. Some people believe I'm trying to get Mutahar thrown in jail, or get...
So, people in Chud's chat earlier apparently were like crying that Nikandros was doing a Carl Jobst here. I don't really see that, I'm going to be honest. The thing with Carl Jobst is that Carl Jobst made a false claim and then attributed a line of causation to that false claim, right? And then retracted, double down, retracted, whatever. So, what he did was he said, Billy Mitchell got a large cash settlement from Apollo Legend, which was not true. As a result, Apollo Legend killed himself, which can't be true because there wasn't the cash settlement. So the line of causation that he's pinning on him can't be there. With Mutahar, the core facts are unchanged. It's just the legality. It is purely a question of, is this illegal? Is what happened here illegal? But the thing happened. The thing happened as Nikandros described it.
Fined until he's bankrupt. That's not the case at all, and has never been. I'm simply trying to get him to stop lying. Again, Mutahar still misled his audience about his knowledge and skills, and if you want a closer examination of Mutahar's knowledge, check out this new video by Slop News Network. I would also like to apologize to the people of Ontario for calling your province Ontario. There's also a creator called Accounting and YouTube who has looked into Mutahar's and Carl Jobs' investigation into the completionist charity, pointing out the errors they made.
Wait, this guy who was on Chuds the other day uses a fucking JC Denton profile picture? There's no way. Dude, what?
Investigation into the completionist
the accounting guy with a JC Denton
the
profile picture is crazy.
I'm going to be ending this video with a quick Q&A. Are you a furry? No. For full clarity, my avatar is a Microsoft DALL-E 3 AI-generated image based on an earlier Spiritus avatar I like to use.
Bro, it's actually Spiritus.
The AI-generated image based on an earlier Spiritus avatar I like to use. I was trying to go for an anime look, but it clearly has quite a bit of furry influence. While I do like the teethy grin as an avatar, I don't really like using the full body version as a representation of me, since it's very muscular and kind of homoerotic. How did you go through all of those transcripts? I used a website called filmit.com. Are you a Hassan fan? You don't need to come up with all these hardships you've been through. Everyone can already see your life is a struggle. You're not...
Can we also, listen, Hassan appreciation moment detected, okay? Hassan appreciation opportunity. Pull up the Nux Taku bit from this video.
Oh, stop.
Streaming red type, one candy mad type, Twitch's hentai. Duh! Twitch's hentai.
The best part. The best part is when he demands Dr. Disrespect get unbanned.
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah. I am an artist from Israel and this is my music. This is my art.
Respect. I'm a big advocate of absolute and true gender equality.
I am an artist. I am a music artist from Israel, and this is my art. I'm a starving child, starving to death, and this is the...
This guy actually becomes such a funny racist when he's talking about Israelis, man. It's awesome.
These hardships you've been filmed.com. Are you a Hassan fan? You don't need to come up with all these hardships you've been through. Everyone can already see your life is a struggle. You're not white, and you still can't say the N-word. He's got this other laugh about not buying anything. No. And you still can't say the N-word. He's got this other laugh about not buying anything.
I'm pretty sure, didn't we notice this live?
And
didn't I let you pause on this when we were watching it before? That he had the fucking sudden reaction to...
He can't say the N-word. He's got this other laugh about not buying anything. No. Wait, his fucking chat thought it was funny? I did not expect that reaction.
So based, man.
I might not care so much for Hassan, but my heart does swell whenever I manage to make my beautiful queen denims laugh.
Background, right? I've been designing neural stuff around.
This guy is a video engineer. This guy is a video engineer. This is what video editing looks like.
Next time, things are gonna be a little bit different. Do you use it?
Dude.
Video editing looks like.
Next time, things are gonna be a little bit different.
Adam's looking perturbed at the rate mode switch.
Video editing looks like.
Next time, things are gonna be a little bit different.
Dude. The reaction is just crazy. The fire.
Do you use an AI voice filter, or are you an AI voice?
No, fair.
No, I am not. I hope that was enough to convince you I'm not an AI. But to be perfectly clear about my signal chain, I use an SM7B connected to a Cloudlifter CL1, connected to a DBX286S with these settings, and that is then connected to my USB sound card without any additional modulation. I am not a native English speaker, I'm Finnish, so I am trying to skinwalk an English speaker, but I'm a human, not a robot. Why do you make videos about Mutahar? How did this beef start? Why are half of your videos about Mutahar? It will become quite clear when my big video comes out. When is the big video coming out? I'll try to make it by the end of the month. I guess I'll set a final deadline to September 11th, 2025. What is the big video about? It's about the drama that caused Mutahar to abandon drama content. It's about the drama that ended his podcast, and a story about a series of small actions taken by an insignificant player, me, which resulted into the post-Naxkarati incident. It's also a story about the dangerous consequences of people not holding their friends accountable. Are you in favor of online government ID verification for social media? No. I apologize for basically saying I was in support of those systems in my earlier video. What I wanted to convey, and what I should have said, is that it's a bit rich for Mutahar to be complaining about them, given the people that he has supported, and given the issues he's decided to bury. Through his neglect, Mutahar and many other...
Yeah, I think, I don't know why Nikandros phrased it like that, but just jumping to the... Yeah, ID is based. Digital ID is based. It's like, yeah, that's not going to play. That was not going to play. And it was also just a very poorly timed statement as well, because Nikandros, like, makes that video. The online set, I feel like Nikandros is making that video as the Online Safety Act is getting implemented, and then it releases right as everyone's like super pissed off about it. And there's just this line in the video where Nikandros is like, "Yeah, actually, I think age restrictions are fucking awesome. Actually, I think age restrictions are fucking awesome." And I see a bunch of people watching it were not happy with that.
Favor of online government ID verification.
Yeah, the point that it's like literally people like Nox. Nox is exploited in the worst, most wretched, like deplorable way. Has exploited the lack of age restrictions to make money for years. In like the exact way that would cause people to want age restrictions.
for social media. No, I apologize for basically saying I was in support of those systems in my earlier video. What I wanted to convey, and what I should have said, is that it's a bit rich for Mutahar to be complaining about them, given the people that he has supported, and given the issues he's decided to bury. Through his neglect, Mutahar and many other large YouTubers have basically given these people a killer argument as to why external intervention is necessary, and that online platforms and communities cannot be trusted to self-regulate. As I said in my earlier video, these systems could be abused for information control and things like that. It wouldn't make any sense for me to support them given the pseudo-journalistic videos that I make. Do you ever go outside? Yes, here's a deer I saw outside.
Okay.
Here's another one. That's all for now.
I just heard someone say that. I'm still in joke from Chad. I just heard someone say the name of that location in Finnish in the background. So if you amp the audio up there, you actually know where he is.
Back to working on the big video.
Wow. Dude, why are they still looking for Madeleine McCann? Dude, 82k view video about Madeleine McCann posted 2 days ago. Give up. Give up. The old bins are obsessed. Who the fuck is Madeleine McCann? Madeleine McCann is a 5-year-old girl who went missing in like 2005 when her parents went on holiday to Portugal with their kids, and the parents went out for dinner and left their kids alone in the little villa they were staying in or whatever, and she was missing. She was abducted when they got back, and they've been looking for her for like 20 years. And it's just like constant, like every year, every other year, it's like, New developments in the Madeleine McCann case. New investigator says da 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 da. You know, it's like constant. It's like, fuck, man. I've literally been hearing this shit my entire life. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Let's get back into Mutahar. So.
Hello, guys.
Mutahar.
Hello, guys and gals.
After weeks of running, months of running, frankly, from various dramas, has uploaded a video where he is once again retiring from drama, okay? Once again retiring from drama. Once again retiring from the YouTube algorithm. Gonna stop being a DUF, daily upload freak. Gonna stop being a DUF. Once again, for the 500th time, Mutahar is retiring from drama and gonna give up his DUF ways. He's going to raise the money to buy his Batty back from Susan Wojcicki. She's not even at YouTube anymore because she died. But you know what I mean, okay? He's going to stop being a DUF. But Mutahar wants to spin this. It's just like oh, my life's changing. I'm going to have a kid. Oh, I'm going to grow up now, guys. When that's clearly not the case. Because he's done this already. He's already done a retiring from drama. He's already done a crying about how the YouTube algorithm makes you upload all the time. He's already done all this shit. It's obviously because he keeps getting hit with drama that he can't control, that he doesn't feel like he can handle.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar, and, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I got some late-night thoughts. You ever try to fall asleep and insomnia kind of flashbangs you, and you're just completely awake? Well, that's where we're at. Thank God, no sleep paralysis. Now, I wanted to kind of talk about some stuff here. You know, I just wanted to, like, kind of talk with the community, if you will, talk with the people watching. I usually hate these kind of videos because, generally speaking, you know, I should just upload and move on and sort of, like, you know, do my stuff. But, you know, I was watching some older videos of mine, and, you know, to be fair with you, it's sometimes ideal to just kind of course correct a little bit. Now, one thing I want to start off by saying is, you know, people on the internet have burnout. And to an extent, you know, I would say that there is some level of burnout that occurs. And it's not just because, like, you know, I upload, you know, videos around daily. Something that, you know, I've kind of been doing, and I'm sure some people have noted for, like, the last, like, couple, like, years, is that obviously the content that I've made is not so much diversified. I was watching videos from, like, 2019, 2020, and some of them were wild, okay? You know, you got videos as old as Weeaboo's Screamer Cringe, where, like, the Muto laugh meme came out of. And
I wonder why this guy was going through all of his old videos. I wonder why Mutahar was digging through all of his old uploads. Can anyone come up with some reasons why Mutahar might have been spending time recently digging through old uploads as he privates, like, numerous videos?
watching videos where apparently like I was playing like obscure Japanese PS2 games about bomb defusals. And one of the reasons why I'm making this video is my internet just died. Like I think some drunk asshole ran into like a data center and completely destroyed the internet, okay? Like I am loading pictures slower than the AOL dial-up days, which by the way is dying. So the thing about it is I played, you know, an old PS2 game. I played some Grand Theft Auto, like obscure Brazilian trash on the PS2. And I had a pretty good damn time doing it. Now the thing about like YouTube is one of the things that I kind of have noticed that I've done for the last 12, I would say 24 months even, right? Is, you know, I've kind of went into this almost late
His DUF dosha was determined at birth. Thank you for the 279, Josh Kosh. Thank you.
Stage capitalist mindset. You know, one of the things is, obviously, I would say that I cover a lot of trending stuff. And in some cases, I definitely...
Gamma pointed out that he might be going back to horror content because his technical expertise credit is blown. Would that really stop him?
Hello, guys and gals.
I mean, he's still talking about the T-hack.
Hello, guys and gals.
I wonder what his coverage is like now. Here's the thing, man, is he's never used any of his quote-unquote expertise, if he has any. It's never been used. He knows like the bare minimum and reads Reddit posts. I don't know why people think he's got so much expertise. I don't know where that perception's even coming from other than him just saying he's an engineer. Like, I've never heard him sound smart about tech stuff in a video, ever. It's like if you're a total retard who doesn't know how to like install custom firmware on an old console. You don't know how to like get homebrew working on your Wii or how to get your PS3 jailbroken. If you don't know how to do that, then Mutahar sounds like really smart, like how you know when you help like an old person with a piece of technology and you're like doing something incredibly simple and they're like blown away by it. Like, whoa, you're crazy with computers. Oh, you know everything about them, don't you? Like that sort of thing, you know. That's how people treat Mutahar, basically. Is they don't know how to download an emulator. They don't know how to search like, you know, PS2 BIOS download or whatever. So they see Mutahar do it and they're like, whoa, how'd you do that? What? That's literally his entire audience. So I don't know why he feels like he needs tech expertise in the first place.
Definitely have probably fell into like the over coverage of like, you know, internet dramas, things of that nature. And, you know, I'm not going to just say that I wouldn't want to cover something that I'm interested in, because generally if I'm interested in something, I'm going to talk about it, as is what the point of a YouTube channel is. But watching a lot of the older stuff that I did, you know, where I was like, you know, hunting for Bigfoot and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, not even just like the deep web, like the deep web stuff is cool, but I was watching like older haunted gaming, like creepypasta videos and everything too. And you know, it's funny, you know, watching old creepypasta videos, it's like, you know, most of it was just, you know, I would get home, I would sit in front of like the creepypasta wiki, I'd find me something that was absolutely juicy, read through it, do a little analysis, and then just kind of upload it. You know, I wouldn't say that any video that I've uploaded is like a technical masterpiece. It really is just like me putting together something that I find interesting and uploading it. And I feel like 2019, 2020, 2021 was probably like the best gosh darn era that I've actually enjoyed on the internet. I think that was when I was like most diverse. And one of those things is, obviously, I think I should probably just go back to it. Now, one of the reasons why, like, you know, I make this video is that obviously there's a lot of people that say, you know, I wish you talked about creepypastas. I wish you uploaded this. And generally, whenever I do upload that kind of stuff, you know, the videos tend to absolutely tank in terms of performance. And that's not something that's like super duper shocking to me. It's just par for the course, right? And generally, people love the trending stuff. People like, you know, any
or SSB Vegito. There is a right answer.
You got that.
Internet controversy discussion a lot more than, you know, the traditional standard stuff. That's just how the internet tends to work in that space. But
let's go back onto the Mutahar video now.
Necessarily mean that, you know, shifting the shift of all my content to that was ever a good idea. And that's just
I used to watch harem anime until someone saw me doing it and called me an F-slur, and I stopped doing it. That guy is on my Christmas card list.
Thank you for the $5, Shimberly. Thank you.
One of the things where, like, you know, ultimately, I want to kind of ask you guys, what really is it that you guys want to watch from, like, that 2019, 2020, 2021 era? You know, one of the things that, I kind of have fallen into, and I think most creators can agree with this, I've actually talked to a couple creators like this. There's a mentality that happens to you when, you make YouTube videos and you kind of run into this like snowball effect where, when one video style does really well, you tend to do more of it because that's really what YouTube, as a platform, algorithmically, systemically actually rewards you for. But that's the problem. You fall into the algorithm rot, and that's just you basically putting yourself into a corner. And that's one of the things that I've never really considered myself in. I've always considered myself to be like, generally somebody that uploads a pretty diverse range of stuff. Back then it was like, you talk about a creepypasta or you play fucking Revenge of the Sunfish or some crazy weird video game. And generally speaking, it's like I was never like the most, I would say, like viewed person, but it was like, everything that I would just kind of post would generally appeal to this, fan base that I would have. And I feel like, in the last like, 12, 24 months, I've kind of just alienated myself away from that. Now, I've been on like old Discord communities and fan communities of mine, just kind of talking to like older fans. And, I've really come to this just realization that, at this point, I have to stop jumping into this like YouTube, avalanche of like, algorithm seeking nonsense. Okay. I should just go back to what it is that I've done, regardless of what it does to my channel or whatever going forward. The reality of this is this is not coming from a place of me wanting to go back to an older channel just out of nowhere. A lot of this comes from, just me being upfront with you guys. I don't think I have much more time left in me. And I'm not saying that like I'm dead or something. It's just that for the last like...
I got like, this was like a bump in a roller coaster for me. Watching this video last night, guys, let me tell you.
Couple of years, I really have just been thinking of retiring. Like I really have just been thinking of like getting out of this and sort of like doing something else with life. And sometimes life brings in a lot of...
Oh, Tipster, I saw you covered the Willie Mack stuff. Are you covering drama again? I didn't realize you were back to just doing like on the beat drama coverage.
Beautiful things that sort of take you away from the hobbies that you have. And
so
I'll let you
back.
interpret what that means. But the idea is that, my life is heading to a place where I'm getting older. I got to be focusing more on things like family or something of that nature. So realistically, I don't really think that I have more than like a year, maybe 2 years of kind of making like, the daily style of videos. That doesn't mean that I'll always like go away. Like I think I'll always...
Tipster won by leaving for 6 months. Won by attrition. By leaving for 6 months and then coming back.
Is just kind of upload here and there. It's just, there's going to be a point where, I just do not post, multiple times a week. It's going to be a point where I'm going to post maybe once a week or maybe once a month. And it's sometimes maybe even less than that, simply because like life takes you in a different sort of spot. But I feel like before that time comes, I kind of do want to just go back to like a 2019, 2020, 2021 era Mutahar.
Like, what? So you're going to do... I don't think creepypasta videos... Like, if he's going to just do, like, whatever, fuck it, whatever happens to my channel, that's fine. But I just don't think... who wants creepypasta videos anymore? Why does Mutahar... Here's the real question. Why does Mutahar even want to be spending his time doing creepypasta videos and creepypasta ROM hacks or whatever? Playing, like, Lavender Town Horror Survival ROM hack. Why do you even want to be spending your time doing that in your fucking 30s in 2025?
I want to just kind of like upload goofy what the fuck gaming style videos where I just play the most obscure shit for my channel. One of the things that I really loved watching was like me when I had insomnia. I woke up at like 3 in the morning and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to help people relive PlayStation 2 Grand Theft Auto San Andreas like Bigfoot hunting. And I did that. And I had probably some of the most fun during that video. Now, the thing is, obviously, going back to that style of content that doesn't, typically rely on trending stuff, obviously, I'm going to just say it right now, going into the future, I don't think I'm going to perform as well, at least like channel metric-wise. And one of those things is obviously it's completely okay. I know that's like outlandish. Like, you know, a creator should probably think of like constantly upping and upping and upping and upping and upping the numbers until like it reaches an unhealthy degree. And that is what it is. It's just unhealthy. You know, this is not like a capitalist situation where like, you know, if you're pulling in, you know, like a million views one year, you should go to 2 million the next year, and then 4, and then 8, and then, you know, 16, and then 32. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you just fall into this like psychotic like rut where ultimately your content suffers, you suffer, and ultimately, I would say everything just suffers at that point. So realistically for me,
But I thought he said that this was just a hobby for him. How is he, like, he said, has he not always said, I just make whatever videos I want. This is just a hobby to me. I'm not a slave to the algorithm like everyone else. Doesn't he always say this shit? But now he's saying, like, no, I am a slave to the algorithm, and I have been for ages. While also not acknowledging that YouTube is his main job, and that he was kind of bullshitting. Like, it's just so crazy. It's so dishonest, even in this.
I want to just kind of go back to, you know, a lot of that, like, even before 2020, to be honest, like 2017, 2018, I think that was like a peak era. And I should just go back to playing like a lot of older, like creepypasta games. I should go back to a lot of like deep web stuff. Not even just deep web stuff, to be honest. Like, deep web stuff is like, I've seen so many goddamn websites at this point that, to be real with you, I could not do it almost every week. Maybe like every 2 weeks, simply due to the fact that there is just so much of the same hitman, you know, website. But I've generally like gotten a lot of love for like creepypasta stuff recently. And I never thought I'd be saying that. I've really actually fallen back into creepypasta love. And I've been actually on the creepypasta wiki. I've been like reading spooky stories. I've been on the spookier side of like 4chan paranormal again. And I really feel like looking back, some of the videos that I made, the ones that just randomly banged, looking at like weird, creepy 4chan threads.
You had the correct answer. I'm proud of you, my son. Here is your reward for being so right and all your troubles with Willie Mac.
Thank you for the $20, Blaze. Hugely appreciated. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or like, you know, talking about like that one obscure video game creepypasta, or sometimes looking at like that one creepy YouTube channel, you know, or the YouTube ARG. That's just really where I should be focusing my attention and my time into. I feel like I've dipped my toe too much into like the trending, almost like drama content pond, where I've really just suffered in the long run for it, right? Like I think like the last 24 months, I've probably suffered the most in terms of just like the quality of the video that I've been making about it too, right? Like I don't want to say that I've just been like slop tubing it. You know, I've always been like a daily uploader. If you think that my old videos from like 8-9 years ago were not just slop, you'd be fucking surprised, okay? Playing some dog shit stupid PS2 game probably falls into that same category if people are being charitable. But at least back then, I feel like I was really carving out like the weird side of the internet that nobody was uploading and just enjoying my time there. You know, one of the things that I want to do is just kind of go back to that. And again, like I said, I hate making these kind of videos, but one of the reasons that I wanted to make this video is to get my thoughts out, to sort of talk a little bit to the community about it. But also, I do want to ask you guys, like, what specifically from that old era do you guys really genuinely want to see? And I don't want to just hear like deep web browsing or something of that nature, right? It's like there's got to be some stuff, you know, from like the haunted gaming era. My neighbor finally fell asleep. The haunted gaming era, or like that just weird side of like the PS2 games that I ended up playing, or just like weird games in general, right? Like I legitimately laughed out loud the other night. I was watching myself playing Sonic, like it was a Sonic Dreams collection. I was watching myself impregnate Sonic on video. And I actually fucking laughed at it like an actual hyena.
Cool.
And I feel like, you know, that's
cool,
just
man.
where I want to be at. Even reading the comments from like videos like that, I feel like there was just a genuine amount of good positivity I was putting in there, as opposed to, you know, just yapping about the daily stuff that I have an interest in. Obviously, that's why I upload it. But I really just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, if that's where I'm going at, if that's the route that I'm going down, I should probably stop right now.
So
fucking laughed at it. Like in Sonic, like it was a Sonic Dreams collection. I was watching myself impregnate Sonic on video. And I actually fucking laughed at it like an actual hyena. And I feel like, you know, that's just where I want to be at. Even reading the comments from
where I
videos
want to
like
be
that,
at.
I feel like there was just a genuine amount of good positivity I was putting in there, as opposed to, you know, just...
I'm sorry, but the whole, maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. I feel like the whole, you know, whoa, look at this, Sonic's pregnant, isn't this crazy? I feel like that's kind of dead, no? Like the whole Metica Deviants style of content where it's like, look at these furries drawing mpreg art, you know, that sort of thing. But is that not kind of dead? It was a parody game? Yeah, I know about the Sonic Sega Dreams collection. I know it's like a parody thing. But is this like that? I feel like that whole genre of content, that whole style of stuff on the internet is like totally gone. Oh yeah, we were saying about how this content, yeah, this content's like totally falling out of favor, right?
Your
Like,
mission?
let's say Chud just started doing like videos like this guy used to do every day instead of drama videos. They would like not hit at all. If you were just doing like not the Sonic stuff, you know, the cringe react shit that he was doing for a while. So here's these crazy furries. This was just like not hit. It's just there's just not the environment for it anymore, I don't think. It's just so normal at this point. Like, how would you make a furry cringe video in fucking 2025? Everyone gets it. Everyone knows what the furry shit's about. Everyone knows the ways in which they're cringe. Everyone's seen fucking mpreg art a million times. It looks like all the shit that's on this guy's channel is just gaming shit, but I know he used to do like cringe react shit. Anyway, yeah.
Putting in there, as opposed to, you know, just yapping about the daily stuff that I have an interest in. Obviously, that's why I upload it. But I really just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, if that's where I'm going at, if that's the route that I'm going down, I should probably stop right now. Because ultimately, I don't want to just be like the daily, like, news yapper guy. I don't want to be like the daily, you know, Asmongold, Charlie. No disrespect to any of those guys, but that never was me. And I don't think that should be me. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about this.
You're all DUFs.
I'm rambling on a bit, but ultimately,
all
I have to do something because insomnia is a bitch. Sleep paralysis is an absolute bitch. But I wanted to talk about this because, again, it's something in my head. I wanted to discuss stuff. And again, I just recorded me playing a goofy PlayStation 2 game. And it was probably some of the most fun that I've ever had. Obviously, going forward, going back to that classic style of content and not relying on, like, you know, trends or doing that kind of stuff is ultimately a net negative to the channel. But given, I mean, net negative in terms of the, I guess you could say, metrics, right? And, you know, YouTube just shouldn't be metrics. Like, at the end of the day, this is not, you know, what I do. This is something that, obviously, I have to be retiring from at some point. And I got to be focusing on other ventures.
It is what you do, okay? Let's say, let's imagine a world where Mutahar really does have, like, some property development company that he runs outside of YouTube. YouTube is how you made your money. YouTube has been your primary occupation for most of your adult life. YouTube is what you do. You might now do other stuff too, but fundamentally, YouTube is what you do. It's how you made your money. It's how you've spent your adult life. To constantly act above it like this comes off so insecure, it's unbelievable. It comes off so insecure. Huge immigrant child vibes. Absolutely insane immigrant child vibes here. Where you are very insecure, you're making your money from posting silly videos on the internet, there being a doctor, or a lawyer, or an engineer. Very clear, I think, personally.
Now, to the time we get to that stage, probably should go back to a time when, you know, I was SomeOrdinaryGamers, not, you know, off-brand version of whatever talking head you see on the internet these days. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Obviously, I will still...
Save the $4.99, okie dokie.
How many times is he going to make this exact video? I genuinely cannot understand someone having so little self-awareness.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty embarrassing.
be deep diving into things. I think that part is still like that stuff I still want to do.
Yeah, he's like so close to saying Indian moist critical.
But I just want to ask you, what do you guys want to particularly see? And especially if there's any specific like topic, especially in that horror space, if you guys want to see, absolutely would like to cover things like that again. And ultimately, I just want to ask you what you want to see. Because, you know, if I'm going to upload something, I at least want to upload, you know, something that the community wants to see. Not just, you know, because ultimately it's like a fucking team effort here. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we have to be able to communicate and meet in the middle in that regard. But yeah, this is just me yapping. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I can pass out. Hopefully I can go to bed. I am out.
Wow. And then he's straight back to the exact same videos today. Today, he is straight back to the T-Hack app got even worse somehow.
It's me, Mutahar, and you know, 2 weeks ago I looked at an application called the T-App. Now, for anybody that doesn't remember, the T-App was effectively this little dating check app that women were downloading so they could talk unfiltered stuff about any of the red flag men that they could find in the world. Now, obviously, I talked about this application, I looked into its terms of services, and I would be completely real with you, ladies and gentlemen. I think that it is a landmine of litigations that could happen. Obviously, the biggest thing that came out of it was, in pretty much record time, the actual application seemed to be hacked. And there was a lot of information that leaked out. 4chan had gigabytes upon gigabytes of people's driver's licenses. They had their selfies, and it was just out there for the world to download. In fact, it was so out there that obviously people took this information and unfortunately, for a very short-lived while, took that information and made entire maps pointing out where these people were actually going and living at based on the information that was spilled from the T-App. Now, of course, obviously, this even bled into an entire battleground, the T-Spill website, which isn't really available. They would take the selfies of these various women, and they would say, hey, click on the foid you prefer. And that's just pretty much how things kind of went. It was pretty bad, especially if you were caught in this massive spillage of your safety, really, of your personal information. So this is one of the...
Didn't Duralicious have a similar thing? Wasn't that their whole thing? That where it wasn't quite like this, because it didn't compromise all the private data. But Duralicious had like their entire like platform on some public server where you could just go and like scrape like all the profiles on the website and shit like that.
Reasons why, like I always say, it's probably best we don't have ID verification, because generally speaking, it seems like some of the biggest applications, this one was, I think, #1 at the time. If it wasn't taking care of your, personal information, I would say that a good chunk of services like this don't necessarily do the same. So why are we talking about T? Well, according to the title, we now got the guy version of the app, guys. T on her. And you know what's really funny? Well, they say flattery is like the perfect, like imitation is a perfect form of flattery. Well, this application not only imitates down to an art form, but it also imitates the security flaws. If you are a dumb guy that signed up for this, congratulations, your driver's license got fucking leaked. So, of course, obviously, I wanted to get the application. I unfortunately couldn't get the app on my Android phone. I guess us Android people are just fucking brokies. So I decided to dig out the old iPhone and download the application.
Yeah, he is like so bad with malapropisms and misremembering like fucking idioms and shit like that. It's like actually atrocious. It's painful to listen to him talk sometimes.
So inside my iPhone over here, if I go to the old App Store and I just go to the search, I type in the words T on her, and this is actually available in Canada, despite the fact that as a Canadian, I actually don't think I can access the website. But it's made by this company called Newville Media Corporation, which we'll look at later. It's apparently in the United States like #2, even though it's #9 in Canada. It's actually crazy how fast these apps sort of blow up. Now, of course, if you're looking at the actual, site over here, they've got whole things about community profiles. I love this comment. Not gonna lie, I don't know if this falls into bullying. Probably slander. Don't worry, buddy. We're not gonna have to think of a lot of slander once we get to the sign up. So obviously, you go to the sign up page for this, and I gave it an email address, which was obviously a burner. I gave it I gave it every information that was a burner. And of course, I reached this screen. Identity verification. So right over here, it asks me for a driver's license, a passport, a state ID, a military ID, and a selfie. Now, obviously, motherfucker, I ain't gonna provide that, given that this app is breached. Now, if I dig out my driver's license, for instance, ladies and gentlemen, I think all of us have it. If you don't have a driver's license, probably have a state ID or something. My driver's license consists of my full name. It also consists of my actual home address, which I would not obviously want for the entire world to just easily access and see. And holy crap, am I expired? Oh no, that's issuing date. Okay, thank God. I thought I had an expired license for a hot minute there. That wouldn't have been good. But yeah, I wouldn't want this information floating around. Unfortunately, for anybody that's signed on to this website, you had your information given up. So I want to go into their website and just look at their privacy policy. So for instance, if you scroll to the data security and protection, I'm going to show you the biggest load of ChatGPT bullshit you've ever seen. We implement robust...
So this is like painful.
But to give you a quick idea...
Was this really so important? Did this really ignite such a passion in you that you had to make this video today, Muta?
Now the thing is, obviously the guys over at TechCrunch...
Personally, I struggle to believe that. I think this guy is a total daily upload freak. And this shit about wanting to retire because, oh, it's just like not fun anymore. I don't like being trapped in the algorithm. Bunch of bullshit. This guy loves posting on the internet. He loves being seen as a tech guy. He loves it. And he would never give it up. He just feels a bit of pressure right now. He's just feeling a little bit stressed out about the internet recently. So he's once again saying he's going to retire. I don't know if there's anything else to really go over with me. But that's about it, no. What the comments like? I wonder what the comments like on the other video. That's what I'm more interested in.
Hello.
See you in 2 months for the next drama video. Yeah, sure, Mutahar. Ha ha ha. Mutahar lips. Slowly but surely becoming a lolcow. Hey, I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Okay. Bring back the Arabic ghost hunting live streams. Okay. Mr. Dark Web, crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing. Lost you years ago. Get some sleep, buddy. Baby Muta, and now Muta. Peace of mind. Okay. Be happy with your millions. Crying, laughing, crying. This guy's based. Crying, laughing, crying, laughing. Sure, millionaire. Crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing. If you can stream, you can scream. D-Muta live stream. Huh? This is a Simpsons reference, surely, right? This is a Simpsons reference here, I think. It's
What about that tattoo on your chest? Doesn't it say die, Bart, die?
No, that's German for the Bart. The.
Oh.
The Muta live stream. I see. The Muta live stream. I see. So instead of taking accountability for misleading us all for years, you announce you feel like retiring. Maybe go back to 2020 persona. It was a little more consistent in actions. YouTube is not my job, but you admit to treating it like late-stage capitalism. Just be honest with the people who rock with your content instead of avoiding accountability and moving on. Fair? Shut up and dance for the algorithm, monkey boy. The organ grinder needs to feed off your entertained viewers. Seriously now. Okay, I thought that was a based comment from it. Well, it was a joke. He was just joking at the start. That was almost based as fuck. I thought that was just like a slop viewer who was like, no, dance for me. This guy is such a liar, it's not even funny. Fall from grace seems documented. Well, I'm glad people are saying it. Hopefully Nikandros' next video hits hard.